Welcome back, everybody. This is Gary. I am Eric. Today we are smoking the Leaf by Oscar Maduro, talking about different ways to fund a business, standing up to your local politicians to affect real change in your community, and also some of our favorite cigars for brand new cigar smokers. All that and more on Cedar Culture.
Kick back and relax, it's time to shoot the shit. Hanging out with the broskies, Gary and Eric. Let the ash go long and the convo stay pure. That's Cedar Culture. That's Cedar Culture. That's Cedar Culture.
Let's bundle these leaves and burn them and suck on them.
On the old menu, Chad, for you, bud. You get to go through 77 hours of stuff and look for the 4 times I drop a cigar. Best of luck.
I like how you named a non-employee that doesn't exist, Chad. I know why. All right, dude. So we've been in the new year for a few weeks, and I decided today, actually just when I was showering before the episode, we should use episodes to sort of hold ourselves a little bit accountable. Like we both talked about the diets we're going to do
I like that.
coming into the new year and everything. Well, first, I guess let's talk about the stick real quick. Let's knock that out of the way because there's so much. Dude, it's been a crazy couple of days, other than just the political stuff.
Absolutely.
But you know, which we'll touch on, but barely. There's much better sources for that.
I don't know. I feel like we got our finger on the pulse of the news world.
So we've mentioned this in one episode. I think the Leaf by Oscar.
Sounds right.
What surprised me when looking things up a little bit is that's the name of the company now.
Right. I saw that too because you gave me an Island Gin made by the same company for my birthday in the summer.
Yeah.
And it now, looking on the website, it says Leaf by Oscar Island Gin. So like Leaf by Oscar became the brand. It used to be Oscar.
Right.
Now it's Leaf by Oscar Island Gin. I was like, what?
Yeah, but it's been Leaf by Oscar as long as we've known it.
But I always thought it was the Leaf brand by Oscar.
Same.
Exactly. And I actually think it was. If I'm a betting man, like I bet if we went back before they kind of branched out.
For less than a year. Dude, did you see their website? It has actually like a timeline.
No, I didn't see that.
So they were like they were like Oscar Valdera's tobacco company or something like that. So, something like kind of generic. And then they did something where they kind of did one special cigar wrapped in a leaf as like a throwback to old crappy cigars. And then this was actually like a limited release just for a shop in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they were kind of, which is awesome.
Yeah,
local
kind of
stuff,
local-ish. Yeah,
and 7 hours away.
And then obviously it was a hit, and it became such a hit they named their whole company after it. So
I mean, if you have a winner, that's what you do with it, right?
it's a cigar wrapped in obviously
Tobacco leaf.
an extra tobacco leaf. But they don't stretch it out like a wrapper.
No, it's ugly. So if you
ugly.
you go on the store,
Which is
like
awesome.
it's this big ugly stick with a larger hemp style wrapper on it.
But it's a tobacco leaf, and kind of.
I remember my father-in-law was the first one who gave me one of these, and I think it's really the first boutique cigar I ever had.
Really?
Like I would consider this like boutique-y.
Yeah. I think
so
is it? I don't know.
I would like, or at least then, I was
maybe.
really smoking name brand.
For
Like,
you,
I
yeah.
had just started. If it didn't have anything I recognized, I didn't do it. And he had some whiskey out for us, and he had these 2 cigars, and I was like, Pops, what is that? Like it looked ugly. He's like, don't worry, you take that part off, and then like you unveil this beautiful cigar.
Mine is way better. So I didn't get a chance to my tape measure here.
Oh no, that's
Wait, so
yours is probably 6
this
by
is
60.
6, so it's a Robusto.
It should be it's a 5 by 50, I believe. So I got a 5 by 50. I believe you have a 6 by 60.
I might have they call it the Gordo one.
6 by 60. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
This will be this episode. We try to do like the length of a cigar. We'll do the length of your cigar.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
All right, let's get her lit up, bud.
I know people that smoke through this band, believe it or not.
Yeah,
because it's
I could see it. It's hemp or something you said, I think, or did you verify that?
I didn't verify that it's hemp. I've heard from 2 separate sources, or I think I've read 2 separate sources. One called it hemp, one called it the stem of the tobacco plant, which I didn't understand.
No, maybe they like mash it up and turn it into a paper somehow.
I mean, it feels like money. Like that's what like the big
feels
rapper.
like Oscar Valdera's would agree. It feels like money.
Yeah, right.
And
Oh, you said his last name. You just
yeah,
said it. You said we.
Oh my! I don't know if I said it right, but I said it.
To me, it sounded beautiful. So the first few, I would say the first 10 leaves I've ever had by Oscar were all Connecticut's. My father-in-law was a big Connecticut guy, and I would say up till even maybe a month ago, if you pressed me for my favorite Connecticut, I think I would have said the Leaf. And now I think I'm going with Not Leave Me the Hell Alone. But I've only had one of them, and I've had much more Connecticut Leafs. But first boutique cigar I really remember enjoying, and a first one to ever progress me through changes, like really serious changes.
This cigar?
The Connecticut version.
Right.
Enjoy this dead air while we try to light these.
Yeah, I'll speed that up. I'll get that out of here. Dude.
Can you speed it up in real life?
Yeah. So, I don't know. Did you even look? I didn't even look. Where is his factory? I forget.
Honduras.
It is Honduras.
But I believe that's a more recent move from what I read. But they're all handmade in Honduras. The Pittsburgh, PA connection is really cool. Never knew that before doing a tiny bit of research.
Dude, it's kind of interesting. I feel like a lot of cigars we've looked up have origins in that. Start as like a shop special. So it sounds like, when the Oscar company was young and this tobacco shop happened to kind of approach them. And so they said, yes, I guess we'll do your house blend. Kind of wild, kind of cool. Yeah. It also gave me some ideas, right? Like, I don't know, like there's got to be other small but really cool shops that would do a house blend for us one day.
And I would love to even, we joked about like this, not that we joked, we talked about it being in from Pennsylvania. I would love to do like an all-American cigar, Pennsylvania tobacco, something.
That would be
just
cool.
Like,
damn headphones. Drive me crazy here. All right, so dude, I thought of you a few days ago when I was watching a movie for no real reason other than I just think about you when I'm laying in bed watching TV sometimes. But no, honestly, I'll tell you why I thought of it. I'll tell you why I thought of it.
Grown man that's told me that.
I thought of it because of a song that came on.
Ooh, I like that.
And so, but not because of like a deep reason for the song. Oh. I know.
Womp,
so
womp.
This is a lot of build up for what I'm about to say. Have you ever seen the A-Team movie?
Not the movie. Who? No. There was an A-Team. Oh,
dude, yeah, 2010. Dude, Liam Neeson, Rampage Jackson, Bradley Cooper.
Oh, I remember it. Dude, never saw it.
Okay, watch it.
Okay.
All right, so I saw it when it first came out. It was actually the first movie I've ever seen in theaters alone. In 2010, I was dating a girl who had no interest in me or the movie, and just, so I went alone, and it was great.
It's a rough mix,
But what I remember at the time is thinking like, oh, okay, it was a crazy action movie. Which isn't really my type. I enjoyed it for the nostalgia, but man,
right.
Well, I just watched it again, and it's fucking cool. Like, it's really cool. Like, you should watch it. And here's the thing: it came out in 2010, and what I've noticed, so the song that came on, I forget what song it was, but it was a Ludacris song. And so it was just an action movie that hit. It was like threw me back into the early 2000s. And the reason why I reminded me of you was just because like we talk about pop culture and stuff all the time. That's really it. Not some deep reason. But what was cool,
I love you too, buddy.
What I realized though, it's so funny. And what I noticed whenever I watch action movies from sort of like, I'll call it 2000 through 2000, I'll call it 2000 through 2009. In my memory, like when I watch it now, the soundtrack and everything, for some reason, it like brings me back to like my childhood, but for no good reason, because I wasn't a child in the 2000s. I think it's because being children of the 90s and then graduating high school in 2001, just that 20s just still feels like your childhood or something like that. And
I'm 39. I feel like I'm just exiting my childhood.
I know. Sometimes and you do adult things and you're like, they let you do this, like buy a house.
I went to a bank. Like,
yeah.
Really? I sent something through the United States Parcel Service. Like, that's crazy.
I don't know if mailing something is crazy, but 10-year-old Gary sending a letter to Santa, like, I'm really out of my depth on this. I need to be an adult to figure this out.
I need an adult.
How's the cigar, bud?
It's good.
That didn't sound convincing.
No, it is. It's good. I feel like this one always takes me a little bit to kind of get into the Maduro taste, but I'm getting the sweetness of this tobacco. I always get a little hay off these guys too, little barnyard feel. But I always look forward. For me, the Leaf, the second half is it just develops. It gets really nice, a little bit of pepper.
I haven't had as many as you. I probably had, I don't know, this is maybe like my third or fourth. My immediate thought is I can tell it's going to be a very good cigar. Not just like a good cigar, It feels like it's. I can see why you would have said it was your favorite Connecticut. Like I don't know why it just tastes like a staple cigar. Like it tastes like something that should be a staple of your.
I like what
I
you
think it's a great compliment.
I like what you said early on in one episode. You were like, it feels like a cigar should, or it tastes like a cigar should, and that's what I think this is. I think this is a great stick for a beginner. I think this is a great stick for someone that's been smoking the same brand for 10 years and says, oh, you know what, I've had the Rocky Patel Maduro anniversary. Let me branch out a little bit. Because it's a Maduro through and through, but man, it has its own, own flavor profiles. I even get, now that I'm kind of a little bit in, I don't know if you, I don't want to influence your taste, but any honey or anything off there? I get like on the retro.
Now you say it for sure. Yeah.
I just didn't want to say it.
But what's that? We used to eat it all the time back in the day.
Cheerios.
Cheerios. It tastes like Cheerios. No,
but
this
the Connecticut,
is a good classic Maduro taste for me.
It really is.
Again, it's like it's not gonna knock my socks off, but it's something that I want to. Like this is the last one I have actually, and my first thought was like, I need to go get a couple more because you always need to have a couple of these in your humidor.
It is, and for a boutique stick, not crazy expensive, not going to break the bank, and we're all familiar with the World Wide Web. You can search out some pretty decent prices if you know where to look. But
speaking of the World Wide Web, what's the first kind of like viral thing you remember online?
I want to say Lazy Sunday, the SNL short. Where they did the Chronicles of Narnia, but it's the Chronicles. You didn't ever see that one?
I'm sure I may. I don't know. Maybe not. So what year do you think that would be, like roughly?
When was like Andy Samberg? Maybe it's in that like 05, 07 range. Does that sound right?
I have no idea. I don't know.
You know what? We had to have been. I don't know if I was married or not, but maybe that like 07, 08 range.
And
viral like video because it was the first SNL clip that was available on YouTube. Like before then, like you couldn't find an SNL clip.
So mine goes before YouTube. I think this is before YouTube. I don't know if it's technically before YouTube, but I'll say like before YouTube was really common.
Right.
Do you remember
the Ask Jeeves days?
Yeah, probably in those days. Yeah. Ask Jeeves days. The web crawler. Remember, there was web crawler, and it was a spider was their mascot.
Oh yeah.
I think that was like what the default search engine for like AOL maybe or something. But no, the thing where the guy, I forget the details at this point, but he put like a picture of a bunny rabbit online, and it was basically like, if I don't raise this much money, I'm gonna off the rabbit. You remember that?
I do kind of.
If I remember right, like I don't want to make things up now, like revisionist history, but if I remember correctly, that was sort of like kind of spawned a lot of legislation that like didn't exist in the early internet days. I don't know. I want to look it up
probably
sometime later or whatever. I don't know. You said World Wide Web, and that's
anytime
my first
I think of early World Wide Web, I know we covered this in another episode, but man, and I was talking to another one of our who went to the same high school, another buddy of mine, and we talked about the internet technology class and like how do you put 30 like 17-year-olds in a room with no like web like wall, nothing, no security, nothing.
Yeah, I mean nowadays, I don't know. There's always a race.
But that's what I think of when I think of like internet.
So I was talking to a friend of mine today, and surprisingly, actually, I didn't expect this from him, but he said, "Hey man, when we get off the phone, can you text me one or two like cigars, affordable cigars for somebody to try?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." Like, I was shocked. And so I had a couple of thoughts, but then I texted him and I said, "Hey man, I'm going to text you that tomorrow. I want to talk to Gary about it tonight."
Oh, sweet.
so
who's the buddy?
You've never met him. We graduated high school together. He and I actually became a lot closer a lot after high school. I would say he and I actually became the closest, like really close when Bree passed away, because he had just moved to Chicago actually.
Oh wow.
And but he owns a lot of properties that he rents, and so he had to come back here a lot. And so he would just stay here. Like Bree had just passed away, and like perfect. It just kind of worked. Yeah. So and in the beginning of that first year, and he would come for like 4 days at a time and stuff.
You guys were the same year?
Yeah, 01, yep. Yeah, Matt McCormick, he's a Laker. He's from the Lakes. Yeah, so I don't know.
That's awesome.
I have one that I thought of right away, which was a Java, because if I'm not mistaken, like me, you, and my buddy Jay all independently kind of stumbled on that stick and picked it as like a good early stick.
Yeah.
Like for him, that became one of his early favorites. For me, it was more the Tabacco Especial, and then I found the Java. And if I right now had to pick, Java all day.
Java's, I think, a little darker, so it gives you. I
It's
think
a little less infusey tasting. Like when you feel
Yeah.
the tobacco, it's like it actually feels a little silky on the outside, which is
Yeah.
cool. But it's almost like it feels infused.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But Java, I would say, has that traditional tobacco taste that a cigar should, but also the more subtle flavors than an infused. I would agree 100%.
Yeah.
That's another funny. Have
Well,
you ever
hold
looked
on.
at a
We're
Java?
on- Oh wait.
The back of a Java has Rocky Patel's label on it. Rocky Patel distributes for Drew Estate, so that opened up this whole new
I don't even-
crazy world. So next when we go,
Yeah,
before
we'll
I
have
leave, I'll show you.
We'll have to. Yeah, I believe you. I'm curious. Like I don't even know what that means.
I was in a shop.
because they distribute their own stuff. So why are they
Dude,
distributing?
I
stuff
was
this
in
and
a
that? I don't even know what
shop
that means.
online, and the guy was like, "Do you have any of those Rocky Patel Javas?" I was like, "Rocky Patel came out with a Java?" Like I'm talking to the guy. It took us 8 minutes to realize we were
It's the
talking about the same
same Java.
cigar, but
Wow.
I was like, "It's definitely Drew Estate." He's like, "It's definitely Rocky Patel." Like we were like, duck season, rabbit season. Like that's what it felt like, you know? Like my bill was gonna get shot backwards. But so funny. The thing, just another fun
Yeah.
reason to go to a.
brick and mortar,
brick and mortar.
For those interactions and stuff.
Ooh, this will be fun. Build the first 4
Yeah,
or
so
5
so
top
build,
5 cigar.
yeah, I was saying like however many,
Do-
3 to
do-
5.
Do you know his?
So Java's one.
Is he a coffee dude? Does he like dark flavors? Does he talk
Drinks
to you
coffee.
about?
Yeah,
How's he like his steak? Is that a great question to ask? Even though I have no reason how I'm going to use the information
Yeah,
you give me, but it's a great question though, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. He strikes me as a medium rare guy.
All right, so we're definitely going to go
He,
more Corojo.
he looks
I'd make
and
that up.
has some mannerisms that are just like Louis C.K. It's kind of funny.
I love Louis C.K.
I know. But the fun, yeah, his some. of
We're
his
the
mannerisms-
exact mirror image right now. We're holding our cigars. we're sitting in them. It's weird because it looks like it feels like I'm looking in the mirror.
All right, so we got Java. I would say, I would probably say a Java Red because I think it is.
It's got the sweetness to
A
it.
little bit of sweetness. It's not as dark as like the Maduro, which I like. I like the Java Mint the best, but I don't know that I would recommend that as like an early cigar.
I would be cautious. That was one of the ones. So my father-in-law gave me a regular Java, like the first Java. I guess that's latte now. I think whatever the classic first Java is. So we would compete to have each other try new good things. So he finds. I gave him a Java Red. I had gotten this sampler pack from an online shop. It was all coffee infused because like when I got into it, I loved the coffee infused line. So a Java Red comes into it. I had 5 of them. I tried one. I was like, I think the old man will like this. Gave it to him. He's like, that was delicious. Then I found the mint, and I was like, the guy says it tastes just like like mint ice cream or something. And my father-in-law was like, I don't want my cigar to taste like mint ice cream.
Yeah, and I don't think it does taste like mint ice cream.
No, I know.
I
But
think,
that's what the guy-
I
like
think
the
if
guy
you're
at
looking
the-
for it, you can get the mint out of it
Right.
and a little bit, and it's nice. But I don't think it punches you in the face. But all right, we got to be past one cigar. Or we're gonna spend the whole episode on this.
All right. So I like Java Red.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to think of another good, like just.
You know what I always
staple.
recommend for someone just getting into it, but it kind of falls on the Java Red line, like an Isla de Sol.
Okay.
Because it's a short filler. It's,
And we
it's,
can- we
it's
can
rather
just-
inexpensive.
We we can. These don't all have to be final answers, right? We could brainstorm a few. But
I
that's
feel
a
like
good
we're
one.
totally into the Drew Estate line, and I'm not doing it on purpose, but
Yeah, that's a good one.
anything from the Deadwood line, just because I think it's.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. Maybe not to introduce the
That was
cigar.
the thing, and so I actually asked him specifically. I did ask him specifically, like, would you want something like that? Because if you're not expecting that, if you're expecting a
Right.
traditional cigar, that would knock you in the face. You'd be like, what is this?
Yeah.
crap?" Is there like maybe an acid? I know it's still in the Drew Estate, but like a Cuba Cuba. That's like a.
The Cuba Cuba for me, I've only had like 2 or 3 times, and the first time I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I had my second Cuba Cuba, I was on Sean's boat, and we were doing the
yeah.
boys trip, so we're sitting out on the dock, and I was like, man, I must be like a little queasy from being on the water.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is hitting me weird. By the time I had the third one, I couldn't fit, like, it was so syrupy sweet to me. Like, it gave me, like, the florals
Yeah,
at least.
yeah.
Dude, it was like smoking potpourri. And I don't want to bash it. It's one of the
It was just-
top-selling
yeah, no.
cigars. It's delicious. Like I said, the first time I ever had it, I fell in love with it. Then it got just too floral for me. So you start to learn your profiles.
Yeah,
a little
no
bit
doubt.
more. Maybe a Lariton, like either a Barcelona or the Dirt Torpedo was fantastic. Then that's a good tobacco flavor, but it has that sweetness on the back
Yeah.
end. That's pipe tobacco as well, but doesn't have the same like vanilla-y notes like the Deadwood.
So we're gonna.
I feel like we're giving them a lot.
I'm saying we're gonna make him a Drew Estate man.
I know, jeez.
I mean, that's a lot of what we smoke. Well, you know, the thing is, though, a lot of
It's the
the
easiest cigar brand to get into in the beginning.
It is an easy.
Can't swing a dead cat and a brick and mortar without hitting them.
Exactly, that's the thing, and I think that's why we're going to it so much. Is because a lot of the other stuff we smoke. I don't. What do these retail at? Actually, I didn't even look up. Like, this would be a good one to.
I don't think these are bad. Like, this is probably in like the 11, like my size is probably like in the 11, 12. The Gordito is probably like a $13 or $14 stick.
Yeah.
I would say single in a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
They come in bundles of 20. You can do pretty good on it. But
Yeah.
for a new smoker, it could be intimidating to spend $12 on a stick. Like,
Yeah.
you really don't know that you'll like it.
Yeah.
But I would, if he's gonna do a leaf, try the leaf Connecticut, because it gives you that mild, but then it really, you know, not pepper bomb, but it really peppers up in that halfway point.
Right.
That would be a great. This would, you know, I know we're doing it now, but make it great. I'd love to hear people write in what would be your top, like Corojo, your top Maduro, like, you know, the 4 major brands: Connecticut,
Or you mean, like,
Sumatra, Maduro, like
Not
what,
brand, like you mean the wrapper, like agings or whatever.
No, I would say you got to pick one from each category to give a new smoker to try. Like, what would be your example of a Connecticut? What would be
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I would never answer that. I don't even know. Like,
It'd be tough.
Well, I mean, yeah, I just don't pay that close
no,
attention.
yeah.
Like, what's your favorite Corojo? Like, I don't even know what that means. Like,
No, I was talking about the Sumatra the other night. I just don't think my palate is Sumatra.
no, me neither.
And I have some good ones that people like swear by. You know, they're like, dude, you like this, you like the tobacco, you like the pepper, like you should love it. And I'm like, and I don't not like it. It's a good cigar.
Right.
But like every puff, I'm waiting to, you know, when you anticipate. I don't know. It's like if you were drinking hot chocolate and it just tasted like water. Like you're waiting for like, where's the sweetness? Where's the flavor? Where's the power? You know?
Yeah. How's this opening up for you?
It's good. I go back and forth between the honey retrohale, which is delicious, and just that natural tobacco flavor. And that, you know, I'm gonna call it Maduro flavor, which is so impossible to explain, but that's what it tastes like now that I kind of know what a Maduro is supposed to taste like. It's earthy,
I know what you mean.
tobacco-y.
It is.
Natural sweetness.
Do you get any kind of like s'mores? Because I feel like that hay plus the sweetness of the dark chocolate, like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of feel plays together and gets a little s'moresy.
On that retrohale, I don't know if it's
Now that I
because you
said
said
it.
hay, but I had the hay kind of note. But the Maduro doesn't go through the change that Connecticut does. I don't know what it is about that Connecticut, but like it starts mellow and like that first third's over and you're like, is this the same stick?
Yeah.
Like it really, and before I even knew how to retrohale, like it still hit me. You know, I remember driving home going, that was a different experience than I've ever had smoking a cigar.
Huh. Interesting.
The first stick to ever make me feel a difference. You know, as we joke, I say the journey through the thirds. That's what it did for me.
Crazy. Dude, so there's this intersection out here on Haddonfield Road, like the road out front, where that Chick-fil-A is. Like when you come by, I don't know if you notice it.
The one that everyone parks illegally to make that, or not parks, waits illegally to make that.
Exactly. Like, so did I ever tell you about that, or did you just pick that
No,
up? Okay,
well, I did pick it up,
So
but-
this is what it's
all right.
about. So I went to a town hall meeting. Did I tell you about that, to complain about that?
Yes.
Okay, so that was probably a month and a half ago or something like that. It was virtual because of COVID and everything. And I was actually really impressed. I was really impressed with the fact that, you know, when I addressed whoever it is, like the head council person.
He really made an impact on you.
Well, what I was impressed by is he's like, Chief, do you want to fill that? And because Zoom, you only see who's talking.
Right.
I didn't even know the chief of police was on the call. So the chief of police comes on, and we talk through it really quickly. He acknowledges the problem.
Wow.
And says, like, I'm going to have somebody reach out to you, go out to there with you, and, like, you guys can talk through the problem.
That's awesome.
Holy crap. Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
Eric,
If the government actually worked that way and they actually fulfilled their fucking promises.
I was going to say, Eric did a good deed.
Hold on. We're snowballing here. So, all right, so he winds up getting me in touch with this traffic sergeant guy, and I am emailing with him, nice as can be, seems really collaborative, like really is open to my ideas.
So this is the chief of traffic police, is that what it is?
No, I was talking to the chief of police.
Talking to the chief.
And then he hooked me up with like the sergeant in charge of like traffic
Okay,
stuff.
this is the, okay,
I
that
think,
makes
I
sense.
don't really know.
Actual traffic,
guy, yeah. And
his
so
business card
he
says
and
that.
I are, you know, emailing back and forth. This is how you email now. I'm doing like hand motions, like I'm signing my signature. So we're writing emails to each other, and he's taking all my ideas, and I'm like, God, he's acting like, and I said, I'm like, look, I got some ideas, like I don't, you know, I'm not the guy, and he's like, dude, but I want your ideas, like I want to bring them, blah blah. finally, the holidays happen, whatever. He emails me with the list of the stuff they're going to do. None of my ideas, none of it addresses the issues with Chick-fil-A. All of it is going to make it harder to get in and out of my neighborhood.
What? So what are the?
So
did he email you to say none of what you talked about?
No. He did it in a way as if he was solving my problem. And so, I mean, I had this whole email typed up, not scathing, but like
just like this
would have genuinely like slayed him, like intellectually, like I mean, because in there he's like, this is much more layered of a situation and blah blah blah. I want to be like, yeah, like because I'm 2 and I don't understand. Oh, me put cones here. Like, get the fuck out of here. So I actually, kind of very politely, like I asked, I had this whole email typed up, and then I deleted it all, and then I actually like just a couple questions, like innocuous questions to learn a little bit more where their head's at, and I think I know where their head's at. I think their head is like, fuck the people. It's all about that business for Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, because it brings people.
Yes, but now I have the whole email thread that, in my mind, kind of makes it pretty clear that the town is prioritizing Chick-fil-A over the problem. And then I just put in a request today to get the last 5 full years of accident reports from that area.
Oh wow, because that's public.
It's public information.
Yeah.
And I don't know. To be
Whose
continued.
job is that?
I don't know. It's called an Oprah request.
Yeah.
Request, OPRA, and I did it through the website. Got accepted, and got like a little message back that whatever and. We'll see, man.
You have an accident, and you have an accident.
You're the third person that's made that joke today.
What was the funniest version of it?
Well, one was in text message. One was actually just in my head. I was one of the 3 people.
Okay, so don't make me feel like don't make me seem like a moron. You were the number. You weren't even the first.
I was the first. No,
oh, okay. But you listened to yourself second. Like you heard someone make the joke, and then you made it in your own head. Like Eric, you're so clever. You definitely just heard that from someone.
Hey, we've all accidentally stolen a joke. So, no, but I would be interested to see how it plays out. Like, dude, it just struck a chord with me when they're going to act like they're going to help, and then they're not. They're going to make it harder for the neighborhood.
So how is that explained? Like, how's it going to make? Will they shut an entrance down?
There's 2 issues. Yeah, basically, there's the actual road where you can make good like turns in and out. And the left is bad there. Admittedly, that should be shut down. That will make my life slightly harder pulling in my neighborhood, but I think it should be done. In fact, when I have people take the GPS here, I try to advise them not to take that turn. It's just dangerous. It shouldn't be allowed anyway. But the problem is the Chick-fil-A entrance is 10 feet down or 20 yards down, and they don't want to do anything about it. So all that actual issue, right, that you just said, you're like, oh, the people in Chick-fil-A that hold up the real issue, it's not going to be addressed, and they won't do it. And they've said a couple times, and I've never brought up Chick-fil-A. I've never said you should do this, you should do that. He in everything keeps going back to what they cannot do to Chick-fil-A, and I'm like, all right, so now I got it. So, but he doesn't know. Like, I want to actually go. This might take 2 months to get the paperwork.
Fired up.
I want to go to him and be like, hey man, I'm going to go and be like, hey man, I'm curious. I see these accidents with these injuries. I want to know, is that the trade-off that the township is willing to make?
For chicken.
Yeah, is that it? Just let me know. Like, dude, it's going to...
Can I play devil's advocate?
Yeah.
Have you had Chick-fil-A sauce?
Actually, no, I don't eat condiments. Like I do like barbecue sauce is like the only condiment I do.
You got to try Chick-fil-A sauce.
No, I won't. Like, ketchup makes me throw up.
I think it's barbecue and honey mustard mixed.
Honey mustard makes me gag, too.
Jesus, how the fuck...
Yeah. Just the smell of it. Like if I'm dating a girl and she eats like ketchup and mustard, it's like you gotta drink something before you kiss or whatever. It's weird. I know.
It's like when Seinfeld's girlfriend's toothbrush fell in her toilet and he just took it out and didn't tell her that she brushed and he wouldn't kiss her. She has a ketchup and you're like, oh, no, I'm good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not a mayo guy. And me being keto, like I'm like, dude, man, like. Mayo's like the base. Mayo's like.
So I led off this episode by saying let's keep each other accountable. We talked about the cigar, and we never made our way back to the diets. So you were saying
sounds about right.
You're going to keto again.
Right.
Come New Year. Success?
Absolutely. I feel fantastic. I've been on it pretty heavily since last New Year's. I take my liberties with a once monthly good pizza that I like and. I made an exception this year, and I wasn't going to, but Christmas we hosted, and if it was homemade and I liked it, I was going to eat it because I felt like that was a good kind of cheating,
Yeah.
But still, diet soda, everything else, My sister makes this banging French toast casserole. There were homemade cookies. And I
Now,
didn't go
I
crazy.
was gonna say, did you just try it, or did you eat half the pan?
Okay, so I had like 2 at Christmas, and I was like, okay.
Two.
I had 2 little pieces of the. So what it is it's baguettes cut up. So like like a baguette size. I don't even know, like 2 $half size, and she layers that and makes like French toast out of it. Like, it's real soft.
But then
real
she,
soft.
I'm sure, cuts it in pieces that are bigger than the little baguette, right?
No, they're so right. So it's like the baguette like sliced,
Okay.
but they're probably like 2 inches thick and like 3 inches in diameter. But there's a bunch of them.
Oh, okay, got it.
And then she like pours the egg in the batter, and like, dude, it's just syrupy and sugary, and I'm sure my body was like, what the hell? Because I probably didn't have more than 10 grams of
dude,
sugar.
I took a picture of it when I was at the grocery store earlier. There's this whole wall of keto brand stuff that looked amazing.
Where
like, at Wegmans. I took a picture of it. I'll have to show it to you or whatever. But it had brownies. It had like banana caramel muffins, and they're all boxes of mixes for you to make at home.
That's awesome.
Banana caramel muffins, like buttercream frosting, just the frosting.
The frostings itself
It's
is
a mix for buttercream frosting. It had
probably just like
brownies.
heavy cream and Splenda and stuff.
I guess, yeah.
But my son has a gluten allergy. He has celiac, so it's funny. I kind of eat like him, although he has his gluten-free bread. I have my keto bread. Like we kind of have to stay in the fridge, so it's kind of cool. It's something we get to commiserate about,
Yeah.
But we found a keto gluten-free brownie cookie, like multiple cookies mix, and we've been loving like making it together. And
Wow.
like, it's our special cookies. It's kind of cool. My oldest son
You have
eats
to
some,
keep
and we're like,
keto bread in the fridge.
we do, I guess, just because it doesn't have the same kind of
Preservatives and
preservatives
stuff. Yeah.
and it goes bad like so quick.
Okay, yes.
It's like by the hour. It's like by the time you get this home, it's throw it away. It's not gonna make the car ride home, buddy. But surprisingly good for like I'm like, what is in it? Like, how is it bread?
I don't know what is in it. Is it that Dave's Killer Bread stuff, or is that not? I don't
That's
know.
like high protein bread.
Oh, okay.
But really, and like whole grain, like that's probably like the opposite of it's like all grains and stuff.
Yeah.
But that stuff looks delicious. Some
Does it?
peanut butter on that. Have you ever had Dave's bread? Is
No,
it
no.
Flexing the guy.
Yeah, I've seen the trucks, and I've heard people talk about having it and loving it, and I've seen the truck. Like it seemed to me like it was this really small niche, but I actually see trucks driving around. So I don't know if they were bought by a bigger company.
Probably
Yeah.
that said, hey, we can mass produce this. This seems like a need. It's filling a niche that we.
Yeah.
It's
But-
shelf space.
But
for
they
that
didn't.
stuff's crazy.
But they did not like update the branding when it got bigger. It still is like looks like the
a
whatever.
cartoony guy.
Yeah,
Like,
whatever the guy did the first day he made the bread and found somebody on Fiverr to make a logo.
who would do that?
Yeah.
But it's so funny you say like keto brand stuff because even I go to Aldi and they have a lot of.
I said
low
keto
carb.
brand, but I don't know why I said
Right.
brand.
But like not even seeing keto approved like anymore. Like you see keto in the title of the food now.
yeah.
Wegmans, the bread, it used to be 0 carb bread. Now it's keto bread.
That's the.
But like,
it's
like
just
the
like
brand, but just like this, the brand was called 0 carb. It was
Right.
0 carb bagels, 0 carb. So it's the same font that they used to say 0 bread in, and it's in the same spot.
yeah. It's just
just
keto
says
now.
KETO, which
Dude, just like 5.
is it not a trademark thing like CrossFit?
I don't think so. I think it's keto is more. No, keto is because it's short for ketosis, which is like a medical state to be in. It's just you put your body in ketosis.
Right.
But I mean, maybe somebody was able to trademark it and turn it into a brand. Also, I have no idea, but that would be weird to me. But paleo is the same thing 5, 6, 7 years prior, where like they started putting paleo on everything because it was the buzzword and everybody was
Right.
starting to eat paleo. And like you said, that went from like no sugar bread to keto bread. This stuff just went from like, I don't know, like healthy food, and then they just started calling it
Right.
paleo. Like all it is
Paleo lettuce.
stuff without sugar. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
like,
and you
it's
know who
basically
does
what they
that
started doing.
huge
It's
and-
paleo everything that didn't have sugar in it. They just started calling it paleo.
People who either eat gluten free by choice or have celiac.
Or grains, yeah.
Like they started calling things that were naturally gluten free. They put gluten free on it, like literally like gluten free lettuce.
Yeah.
Or hamburger meat and like a pack of bacon. It said like gluten free. Like
Did it really?
I didn't expect there to be a stalk of wheat in my bacon. You know.
Well, for people with really really sensitive celiac, I think they have to an extent, right?
Like you have to put it on every product.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. I just wonder has that become It's not kind of the same thing where like everything is like this is produced in a factory that produces nuts. Like does it become
true.
even if it's mostly perception? Like in what was it, Deadpool 1 or Deadpool 2? Did you see those movies?
I did. I saw Deadpool.
Do you remember there was one of the line? There's a line in one of the movies I forget, and he's like, "Oh, something like we'll take all the gluten and blast it out into space where it will never not harm anybody again," or something like that.
We got him for his birthday last year. It just says 100% gluten free, a T-shirt. I also want to get him one that says "Free the glutens."
That's funny.
I just thought that'd be kind of cool.
Is that just something you made up?
Yeah.
Free the glutens. It's just kind of funny.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It sounds like I don't know. It sounds like you like gluten. I don't know.
I want it to be free, just not in me.
Exactly.
Oh man. How are you? Any changes on your stick? That big old boy.
No, I'm in fact like none. Right? I don't think I've gotten any changes. Have you?
Pretty steady, but I'm hoping I'm getting to that kind of like midway mark. Not that I'm expecting a huge change, but I'm hoping that it kind of hits a little pepper, just to get a little zing to it.
Get a little zing out of it. I'm not expecting that personally.
No?
I'm just not expecting it.
It does it so convincingly with the Connecticut. I'm just curious now that I'm tasting those nuances, or trying to at least. I want to see if it's something that they do throughout the line, if it's just that blend, whatever the case may be.
Nice.
I think I have a Sumatra laying around in my humidor somewhere too.
Really?
Either Sumatra or Corojo, I can't remember. Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. And then, so you picked up the other day the Leaf by James, which was the collaboration I think between Oscar and Black Label, like James Brown from Black Label.
And
you
there's
haven't had that yet, right?
I have not.
There's 2 or 3 of them too?
Not of James. There's 2 other collaborations, Leaf by something else and Leaf by something else.
You don't remember what they were? How did you just find that Googling around today?
Just today.
Oh,
minutes ago, actually.
Oh, really? Did you write it down? I don't even know.
No, but I bet it's still in my Google search. If we take a break, or I'll put it in the notes.
All right, let me go grab more to drink, and then we'll look this up, and we'll come back.
Sounds great. So where are you with the with Primo? Bank shit, crazy?
Yeah, I might be using my 401k actually, which sounds crazy. But what it is
Not necessarily.
well, like they always say, don't touch your retirement.
Yeah,
right?
but at this,
what do you get at this? 40? Like I don't know. It's definitely a consideration, right? Like imagine if you just found out your retirement was wiped out.
no, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a big deal, but it's actually better. It's in some ways than taking a loan.
Okay.
Because with the loan you have a personal guarantee anyway that like you're gonna have to pay the loan back no matter what, right? And if the business fails, you're gonna have to liquidate your 401k and pay it back. You know what I mean? And so the way it works with your 401k is you actually create a corporation, like instead of an LLC, create like a corporation, and then that corporation has a 401k plan, just like my old employer, But that
so you
create a 401k over there, and then what you do is you roll the money from your 401k. It's just like your pensions. It's invested in stocks, right? So when I roll it over
it's not real.
there,
It's like just a number. It's just a.
No, it's real. Like it's really invested in stocks. Like it's like, that's my point in this. Actually, it's like that money is just invested in companies. When you boil it down, that money and probably other things like natural resources and stuff, but.
Which are bought and sold, so it's
So what this is you create a 401k plan over there. You roll this into that, and then
you roll what you have into what you're building.
The new 401k kind of thing. But then that company, they invest in my Primos instead of investing in Apple and Yahoo and these other stocks.
That's a cool idea.
So they invest in my Primos, and then what happens is my 401k owns 100% of the shares because it's a corporation. It's like shares. It's different.
Sure.
So it owns 100% of the shares. And over time, I, Eric Allen, can buy shares back from my 401k if I want. And I can, over time, take ownership in the company if I want. But the good thing about it is because it's my 401k, number one, if I lose it all, I don't owe anybody anything. It was just a bad investment. I lost my money. The other good thing is there's no interest. The other good thing is there's no loan repayments from day one. If my loan repayment was $3,500, that means that first month, like I have to pay $3,500. Even if I don't make that in profit and I don't have it, I have to pay it. Like I have my own money. There's nothing to pay back. It's just my money and it's just in there.
But that's what I mean. Like it's just a fucking number. Like it's just like I get what you're saying.
No, it's not because it becomes cash. It's cash. It's real money.
Right, but like
it goes into my bank
account.
account.
All right, can I invest in that like as an outsider? It's not publicly traded.
No, but you can. You could. Yes, you could. It's not publicly traded.
Could I make Could I make money off of your Primo by having some of your stock?
Yes, but I mean only if I sold it, and then but which I wouldn't because like I want it to be mine. But yeah, like you could buy shares of it. Now the downside of that is like that's just it. You own a share of my Primo's company now. Like it's not real money until I sell the company.
Gotcha.
Or if you come to me
Buyout.
and say like, hey, and I'm like, all right, I'll buy that share from you, and then it's exactly like the stock market at that point. It's a share that has a value, and so what happens is, let's say, so my 401k owns 100% of this company, and then if I want to buy like 20% of the shares, I actually have to go hire a company for a few $100 to evaluate the company and come up with a per share price.
Holy shit.
And then based on that per share price is what I buy it from. So
When
that
did you
401k
learn that? Dude, that's insane.
yesterday.
That's fucking crazy.
Or no, I learned it earlier today.
That's really
a couple
fucking,
hours ago.
like,
and then
Wall Street shit.
It is because and then what happens is, so that 401k, whatever it's spent, it basically in the beginning they just do one share per dollar.
Makes sense.
So if it's injecting, call it 200,000, there are now 200,000 shares that each represent 1/200,000th of the company.
Wow.
And so over time, if I'm like, okay, well I want to buy 50,000 of those shares, the company's going to come in. Those shares were $1 per share. Now maybe they're $1.25 a share. So I have to pay $1.25 per share. My 401k, that portion, those shares went up by 25%. They were $1 a share, they're now $1.25. That's how the 401k will grow.
Wow. Dude, that's
Weird.
really weird. But it does make sense, not saying that it's not scary and dangerous and holy shit, but I like the idea that you're rolling it into something and then you don't, like,
It's
it
not
takes
like
away that, well,
I'm
now
not going
I
to a
have to,
titty bar with it. Yeah.
Right.
Like it's
well, that would be a fun trip with 200 grand.
I know, because you literally kind of could, but the downside though is because you actually kind of could just anybody could go do that. A lot of these companies that do this thing, it's called a ROBS, like a rollover something.
Why would they use
You get-
ROBS?
You get yeah, it's kind of funny. You tend to get audited more frequently.
Oh,
when
that
you
makes
do
sense.
this
So you're not doing internal because
you can really just take it. This you could if you weren't highly subject to audit. This
Yeah.
is a loophole to take an early withdrawal on your pension without getting penalty. Is what it is.
Oh wow,
Yeah, and so like,
a lot more.
I mean,
people
because
do
they're
this.
literally putting the cash in my bank account, and they're not. I'm not getting like if you take your 401k early, it's like a 10% penalty. There's none of that. Like I'm just getting the money that went in there pre-tax, and 4% of it was from my employer anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't have to pay tax on the interest it gained. Like if you sell stocks, like that's capital gains, you have to pay tax on that. Even though I'm taking all this out and it's just going to go to cash in my bank, I don't have to pay a dime of tax on it because it's really just invested in my company.
That I could see how that could be a very large loophole, like if there weren't, stipulations and keeping it.
Wild, right?
Very.
I
wild.
meant to talk about all that in the episode, actually.
Even though you don't have our levels, you probably still could.
It actually, technically, yeah, that was recording the whole time. So that's part of the episode.
I was gonna say as we were talking about it, I was like, this is actually really interesting.
Yeah. So,
Eric gives a financial lesson.
we're back, guys. All right.
And we're back.
I'll do some like editing stuff, and I'll just dance all that around and make it seem somewhat normal.
Don't forget whose podcast you're editing.
All over the place anyway. Oh, that would be funny. A funny exercise because we tend to get all over the place sometimes.
Just put it out of order.
Actually,
and see if it
try
works.
to take the podcast and take the segments and reorder
But it'd be
it.
like, well, that's
I know.
part of our intro. Bundle these leaves. Oh man.
Yeah, dude. So I feel like I've said this a lot about the sticks that we've had, and it almost makes me feel like I'm just looking at it wrong or it's a cop out. But if you know what it is, it's not a cop out. I was gonna say that this goes back to what you said earlier, and I had said before. Like it tastes like a cigar, right? It's just like a good staple of the humidor. I would rave about it for sure because it always has to be a staple in the humidor. But I probably wouldn't rave about it as to how it's going to be the best thing in your humidor personally. But what I was saying is that feels like a cop-out because I feel like I've been saying that a lot, but it actually makes sense because we have been smoking a lot of just steady, good cigars. We haven't hit, like, I don't know if we've done like a black label, like, Barro Santo or something like that, like something that's just going to be kind of more peppery throughout and stuff like that. So
Change it a
we
little bit.
should do a black label stick
do
in an
it.
episode.
I'm in.
That's definitely, I don't think that became one of my favorites over the summer, and I don't think we've done an episode on that company.
Let's do
maybe
it next episode.
Next episode, boom, we're
On.
figuring stuff out.
Hold us to it.
And I think
And black labels.
I think next episode we'll be able to wear the new shirts we created.
Nice.
That'll because by the time the next episode after this launches, that will definitely be launched. It might be launched by now. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Wait till you guys see what we got in store for it. It's pretty.
Yeah,
We hope you
exciting
like it, but
shirts.
it's really cool stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Really, really excited to get that out there. But awesome.
So yeah, Black Label sticks. So I remember when we were both kind of exposed to the Black Label brand around the same time in the summer, when I was helping you kind of get into it, and then you were starting to teach me about different brands, sub-brands and subcultures. I remember thinking, wow, Black Label is going to be this little underground label.
Yeah.
I'm not going to see much of it. Then we go to the local tobacconist that's
Dude,
halfway between your house and my house.
As big as
he had a
this
whole wall.
thing behind us here, but this whole big toolbox here, pretty much, was filled with.
And I feel like that's one of those sticks I open my humidor and things spill out, and I'm like, I know this is a Black Label, but I don't know what
Dude,
it is.
I
know
can't
it's a
figure
this.
that shop out because, all right, remember, I told you, I remember like texting you and all that stuff when I went
I
the first
remember
time.
where I was. I was in my in-laws' backyard smoking a tabernacle when you were
Really?
there. And I'm walking around because you're like, they have this. And I'm like, all right, get me that. All right, we'll trade this for that. Like,
yeah.
I remember like being,
But
my
he-
adrenaline went through the roof.
Yeah, but-
and yours, you were like, oh my God.
I was
can't
freaking
believe
out
it.
because it was a good shop.
It
But
was.
here's
It still is.
the weirdest thing. So that whole Black Label area that they had, you could tell the sticks had been there for a long time. And it was full. And the guy told me, he's like, yeah, like some shops, you just like, your clientele goes towards something, and then he's like, for some reason, he's like, I love the Black Label stuff because I just don't sell through here. I don't know why. And that made sense to me because he had a full shelf of it, and it looked old as shit. And he said he's like, once I sell out, like I'm just not gonna get more. You and I went back like a month and a half later, and half that shelf was empty. Like there was a lot of stuff gone. So
I wonder if he sells online. I could see Black Label doing better as an online.
maybe
yeah.
he added online. Maybe somebody came in and just bought a bunch of it, or maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't
was
know.
trading the inventory.
Maybe
who knows?
I guess I'm hopeful though that maybe
you don't remember that you bought them all.
No. I'm wondering is maybe this is wishful thinking. I'm hoping that he's starting to sell a lot more of it, and then he's going to actually start carrying it more. That's actually where I was going to go, like to just hope that, because I love that stuff, and I like going to support the brick and mortars every once in a while. Not all the time.
That was a fun trip.
Not all the time. Obviously, it's just more expensive, but.
Again, I'll go back
it's
to
an
the local
experience
brick
you have
and
to
mortar.
have. Yeah,
The experience, the camaraderie, but there's no place in the world that we put together 12, 13 premium sticks. Yeah, we paid
Spend
probably
half a
value.
paycheck. Yeah.
Exactly. But so you spent all that money because what I would hate to do is split a box with you of something that we were like, now we got a $400 box.
You get the
of this.
benefit of certainly you get the benefit of
the single serve,
serve kind of thing. Which, dude, I had, what was it? I was really disappointed the other day. It was, I think it's a Lancero Liga, like UF 1340, one of them.
Okay.
And so I actually grabbed it because I realized when I shuffled my humidor around, I have a few Lanceros in there, and you and I were talking about how, like, Lancero's certainly not a go-to, but it's a fun stick to have.
Sure.
And I wanted a good stick. I wanted a Liga. I noticed the Lancero. I'm like, dope. I'm going to do this one. I didn't enjoy it.
What do you feel like it was too
surprised.
concentrated? I don't know why I'm doing this motion in my hands.
No, it was. I didn't like the taste. That's
Wow.
yeah. I was very surprised because every Liga that we've had is like, gold. Like it's so good.
I want to try
was
for
very
some
surprised.
reason, me not being a Lancero guy, me always being afraid I'm going to break it like a stick of spaghetti. They have that Undercrown A that's like 2 Lanceros. That would be
Yeah.
a great birthday, like summer, sit by the
agree.
pool and just friggin'
What are they
rock
costing
that
now?
stick.
Can you even buy them? I don't know. Can you?
I don't think you can even buy them.
Or they, you have to buy it when it first. Maybe they release
Yeah.
it annually. I don't know.
Dude,
We'd have to
they
look it
come
up.
in those beautiful
Big
blue
box.
boxes, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, they come in 2.
So let's
we'll try to get on
take
that for the summer.
Yeah.
Note that. Gary's 40th birthday. You can note that next to that.
That's this year. That is this year, 1981. Was it August? Was it?
Yeah.
It was.
August 7th, same month MTV premiered. No
Like
big.
like
No
month
big.
and year.
August 81, baby.
Wait,
Me
do
and MTV.
Do you know what the date was for MTV?
No, probably the first. We'll look it up.
Yeah.
We won't.
We
I'll
won't.
Try. What was the first?
I
what
was
was the first
gonna
MTV
say, you know
video?
the song, yeah, the Dire
Video
Straits.
killed it.
Or no, did I say Dire
Dude, we
Straits?
both just hit the table.
Did I
Yeah,
say
you
that?
said Dire Straits, but it was Video Killed the Radio.
Yeah. Who sings it? Crap.
Video Killed the Radio.
Why can't I?
I don't know.
I know.
can't hear it.
presidents of the United States of America covered it.
Yeah, it brought it back to like.
Who the frick? Why did I say Dire Straits first off? And why?
Definitely wasn't Dire Straits.
No.
Hey Siri, who sang? What is it?
Video killed the
Video killed the radio star.
Video killed the radio stars by
The Buggles.
I wouldn't have guessed that in a million
remember
years, but I feel like I should.
You definitely guessed Dire Straits first, though.
I definitely guessed Dire Straits.
I'm
Let's
gonna-
say that 7 more times. Let's make sure we
I want to hope that I'm going to YouTube it. What if Dire Straits did a cover of Video Killed the Radio Star? That'd be sweet.
yeah.
And you're like,
no.
that's what I meant. That's what I thought.
Yes, exactly. I think I was. So they were money for nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the video I'm picturing in my head.
Yeah, on my MTV, they even have
Yes,
it. Yeah.
that's what it is. That's why.
I get it. I
Yeah.
understood. I knew where once we came full circle. I'm rubbing off on you because I'm usually the one you're like, all right, Gar, what? Like you started, you ended. Where are we here, pal?
All over the place, dude. It's been a wild day with the learning about the Robs. For starters, was because what happened, dude, was I was going the traditional SBA route, and I honestly didn't think I would have any problem because I talked to a couple lenders that said I would have no problem, based on like financials and stuff.
No problem, just not with us.
Well,
I'm sure that place down the
what
road will really be
happened
happy
was-
to help you.
Dude, and then I talked to a couple people when it comes time to actually get stuff done, and then all of a sudden I'm hearing like, well, COVID and the PPP loan. Well, the banks they're paying attention to the PPP loan stuff that I guess is coming or might be coming, and the big thing was no current income stream because I don't work right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, I'm like, wait, so hold on a second though. I'm just like, that's the idea. Like I'm starting a business. Like, do you want me to
get a job?
You want to get a job and then I'll get a loan on this other business and then that business will fail. The business you gave me a loan for
I got
will
my
fail.
shift at 7-Eleven.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on.
I'm a Walmart.
But whatever.
courier.
I mean, I wasn't mad because the messenger, But then all of a sudden, I talked to somebody else that gave me the biggest doom and gloom, and they were like, legit, like, dude, you're not getting funding. Like, it is not gonna happen. And I was pooping my pants, and then they told me about this Robs thing, and I was like, whoa, wait, this actually sounds better for
you.
for me.
You got to deal with the situation.
Yeah,
right?
I was like, this actually sounds even better.
If you have the cash or if you have
And
the
then
means.
I was like, this sounds even better. But then I talked to somebody else because now that I got on the Rob's idea, I was like, well, I still want to go talk to 3 different vendors for that to compare. And the second one I talked to, I told him everything, and he's like, dude, you'll have no problem with either. He's like, you can
Why
do
would
whatever.
one tell you?
Dude, I don't know, man. It is a weird world we live in.
It is, and
It's just who
sometimes-
their lenders are, their risk
Well,
tolerance.
and they're also people. So, like, you could be having a really terrible day, And
Yeah.
like, dude, you're never getting this loan. Like, I want to make you crush your dreams because I feel terrible today.
You never know. Just like my little incident tonight with the insurance company, telling me that they have to update their prime before I can get my medicine. Okay. I'm there, it's a week into the year, and I'm trying to get some medicine filled. I have a new insurance policy, yeah, and they're like, oh, sorry, it's coming back as like expired, like terminated, like you no longer have health coverage. What? Like I'm literally the first thought that went through my head is like, oh my god, I'm gonna be afraid to drive home now. Like I don't even know what's going on. I called the insurance company and they're like, oh yeah, you're active on our end. We just got to activate your prime. I'm like, activate my prime. I told you the story earlier.
What's going on
I'm not
here?
gonna go rant about it now, but it was wild. So apparently make sure your prime is updated if you want to get your script filled.
And your 2-day free 2-day
But
shipping.
an hour later, in the phone, I got my medicine, and here we are.
Crazy. Just to note, great pairing. As I'm in this last third of my little guy, you're probably about midway on the Gordo.
I'm gonna be here for a week.
The Diet Dr. Pepper pairing nice with this.
That makes sense because you're not getting the spice you kind of hoped for out of the stick. Because that's one thing for me. I don't like pairing like if I have a spicy stick, I don't like pairing even with like a whiskey. Like
No,
something with that the extra
100%.
bite in the bite is
I'm
just
telling
too much.
you,
It's not a good pairing to me.
One of the sticks I had that was kind of spicy, I had with the sweet coffee. Man, what a great mix!
Yes, yeah,
what
it makes
a
sense to me.
great mix.
And like or like even with a cream soda or even with the green tea that I do. But I could
Well, like
definitely
you said, the
see, like, this
wasabi and
would
the
be
sweet green
great.
tea.
Yeah, that was dope. This would be really good. Actually, now that you said that, I want to get another wasabi stick.
Oh,
But
I
now
was
you
gonna say,
said
if you want to try the Dr. Pepper.
Oh no, I'm good, thanks. I mean, I was gonna say with whiskey.
Oh. big boy stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I hit the year mark without drinking, and my buddy's like, I had some bourbon with Bernsey.
Nice.
He's like, come on, you hit the year mark. You proved to yourself you could do it.
What did you have?
Fellows, I believe.
Okay.
Bourbon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
it's like
familiar,
$150. Well, he won, but really, dude, smooth and honey taste. It was to break my drinking real drink cherry. I was happy to do
Well,
that.
didn't you have like a sip of bourbon?
Sip of Bland's.
But you sent a picture one time. You had like you literally like a 1/4 inch in a cup or something. Was that like Thanksgiving or?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, I went from weekend PBR drinking, terrible.
Absolutely.
But part of me, just like I'm gonna have, I think for a very long time, the base will be keto, and I'll venture off. My base will be, I'm not really gonna be drinking unless it's like, hey, get together.
I decided.
Or if you have some more of those spicy beers that was good.
Actually,
the chili
do have
pepper
more in
ones.
there, yeah. I need to buy another case of that. That's a winter only thing, actually. Whatever. I'm not gonna remember. I was gonna.
No, I'll
write it down.
text you because I'll mooch off you. I'll be like, why don't you get a case of them?
The funny thing is, I was just about to write it down, and I'm like, we never look at our notes after. We never go look at the YouTube videos, the jokes we want to tell each other later after we write it.
I know. How many times we're like, oh, as soon as this is done, I want to show you that.
As soon as this is done, we're gonna go do that, and then as soon as this is done,
sneak peek behind the scenes. We don't
do
any of that
any
stuff.
We make T-shirts, so that's what we do after the episode. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, I will say like I said, this stick, we talk about sticks being old, reliable. I feel like the last couple times we've texted back and forth while we're sitting freezing and trying to stay warm through these damn winters, through fire pits and trying to make it in the garage, which is way better than outside. I feel like we put more thought into the stick you're going to go smoke. Because
I definitely
it's cold.
do. Dude, I don't smoke every day anymore. And I was like, my batting average was like 1.8 a day, or maybe even like 2.4 a day during the summer.
There were days we had six.
Well,
six
yeah,
stick
on
days.
those special occasions, but I mean like even alone, and and because when I'm sitting on the couch in my shorts with literally wearing shorts and nothing else, and then I'm like, let me go get a stick. I'm bored, and you can go grab a stick from your humidor, put flip flops on, and walk outside. That's dope. When you're like, let me get the heater on outside, and do this, like, come on.
I know.
I just don't feel like doing it every day. But to your point, put like a lot more thought into the stick. Like I want, every time I grab a stick now, I'm like way more methodical
Are you
about what
less
I'm picking.
likely to try something new because of that?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not actually. I don't think so.
Because I kind of rolled the dice on a stick I won in one of the groups we belong to, and I've been really looking forward to it. Heard some really good things, and it was a Sumatra, and again, not bad at all. But
you felt like you wasted your.
I was
your
like, I'm cold,
frostbite on your hands
and the
for this.
propane for our heater. Bernsey and I put up a little 2-person Coleman tent. So
so cool.
But I'll tell you what, a little propane heater on there, you are toasty.
That's awesome. The problem I have in this garage with the heater is it's too big.
And you have
all the
we're
concrete
surrounded by
slab floor
concrete
and metal.
And
It radiates too much cold. So I put this big heater in, and I actually just use a little space heater blowing right on me. But
I love how some days you'll point up to me and you'll be like, "Hey, Gar, on our roof it's like 74," because like the heater's up there,
yeah, because I have the heater hanging up there,
and you're like,
it's got a thermostat on it.
It's a balmy 55 down.
You put your hand up and you're like, yeah, that feels warm and toasty, and then you come back down where we're sitting and it's freezing because we're just getting the radiating cold off the concrete slab.
We joke you can hang
2 more
meat in
months.
here. Oh yeah, we'll be.
Dude, 2 more months from now, we'll be a week into March. It'll still be cold. It'll March and April, right? Those are the months where every year we say, man, I always forget how cold it is in March and April.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it this year. But guess what? It's still going to be warmer than January and
Oh
February.
my God. No,
I can't wait.
It's gonna be way comfortable. We'll be sitting watching sports in here comfy.
Yeah, I know. Pretty soon, man. All right. Well, I think we've experienced the stick.
We have.
And let's just call it here.
Would you recommend this to someone to be like their first Maduro, their first Connecticut, their first Sumatra, their first?
Well, we put it on our list of first cigars for my friend, so I'm going to say yes.
Good. I forgot we did that.
Yeah, like we literally wrote it down as a first stick. But
I'm curious to see
I
what a
don't know that I
first-time
would. I don't know
smoker-
that I would give somebody. It's interesting because you don't tend to give people a Maduro for their first stick, but so oftentimes the Maduro is more mild than the
know.
Connecticut. It makes me sort
My
of question
father-in-law
that,
always
those
said it.
philosophies.
Don't fear the rapper. Like you can't.
Yeah.
It's-
So to that point, maybe the I don't know. Like, is the Maduro you think better for a newbie? than the Connecticut, because you said that got a little spicy. I don't know.
It did get a little spicy. That's true. I mean, if he just wants a straight tobacco journey, I mean, this is it. You know, you're not going to get more like steadfast and more. You know, you get the sweetness of the tobacco, a little honey in there too. So maybe this, because it is
Just
peppering
not
up.
this one.
I mean, it's peppering up. I would say 5 to 8% on
Really?
the final third. But I'm
Sometimes
tasting
I
it.
think that's just the carbon buildup and stuff too. Like I always wonder if a little purge gets rid of that, if it's a little faux spice.
Not Old Spice.
Faux spice. What do you think? I saw you do a little purge there. It's still a little, you can still get that 5 to 8%.
That 8% went down to 4 or 5%, but there's that little bit of, you know. But I also think as much as you purge, you're building so much oil through those first 2/3.
You're still getting it.
It's so funny. I always used to think of the blend, and wow, they blended it to be spicy, and now I'm like, it's probably just a natural result of tobacco starting.
But they still blend
4
it to be
inches
that
out.
way.
No, they do.
Yeah.
But a lot has to impact it, you know.
Oh no, absolutely. But I think that's part of the design, and that's part of the art of the design, because they have to account for the changes. Not only do they have to account for the changes, they have to account for the different plant to plant and like the crops and the growing season. So they like this cigar. I can't say this cigar specifically, but a lot of the big cigars, they are reblended every year. They're reblended to try to taste the same as it tasted
because
before.
they're just like
but
wine,
but
two
they
bottles
have
of
to,
wine.
But they have to blend differently because the
makes
strengths
sense.
of different leaves.
And they gotta
so
blend
they have to
different
account for that,
size,
and they
too.
account for it as well. So it's like, yeah, it is natural, but it is planned, and it is part of the blend, and it's part of the art.
I like that. Part of the
Soapbox
plan,
off.
part of the art. I like that. But no, always a fun stick. I love presenting it to someone that's just getting into cigars because it is presented so differently. You have that experience. I was actually a little bummed. My wrapper was really dry. I like when you get a nice hydrated leaf, and it's just you put your nose into that.
You're talking
leaf and
about,
smell.
just to be clear, the external leaf.
The external
That's
wrapper,
the wrapper,
leaf.
not
Like,
the actual wrapper.
Not the
of
wrapper.
cigar.
I like when the outside just a little bit more moist, and you can literally roll it out, and you put your nose to it, and it just you smell like you're in a tobacco field, and I like that. Or
Well, up the
dry
humidity in your humidor then. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, I don't. We both talked about that. That's getting.
Yeah, that the humidors, they're getting bad. But all right, but let's wrap this up.
Absolutely.
And as always, to you and to our viewers and listeners, long ashes.
Stay smoky, everybody.
Thanks for checking out the Cedar Culture Podcast. If you'd like that episode, go ahead, tap, like, follow, subscribe, whatever it is on your platform of choice. And if you are on YouTube, hit that bell as well to be notified of new episodes. It really helps us out. We appreciate it.
And then don't forget to head over to Instagram and Facebook and follow us as well.
Do it.
Do it.